Okay,
Hi.
so Justin, you were an engineer, and can you tell us your work story before
Sure.
before you got to be a full-time musician?
Before, well,
You
I've
were
been
always a musician, but
I've been a musician since I was 12, which is probably about the time when my eyes started to go uh, bad with macular degeneration. So I had learned to read in school, and then I got my eyes checked every year, and they started going bad, and eventually by I'd say seventh, sixth grade, I couldn't read at all. So they declared me legally blind. But I did graduate, went on to high school and college, and attended, it was Boise Junior College then, but it was difficult for me to go to school, and it was real easy playing music.
did you
So,
use recordings to study in school?
no, I didn't really know that the Blind Commission was an avenue for me until I tried to go to college again the second time many years later after getting married and having children and having responsibilities, and music just wasn't enough to make a living. So I got help with the Blind Commission to go to Boise State College, had gone from Boise Junior College to Boise State College by then. So I enrolled and went there, and with the help of recordings at that time, and decided to go up and take a look with my wife at University of Idaho in Moscow. And the campus compared to Boise was just really inspirational. I mean, just the setting was really, so we decided that we would transfer and move up to Moscow, and I started attending U of I, and I don't know, about 6 months into that program, I had to have an additional income. The Blind Commission was helping me with tuition and such, but so I started working at the hospital in Moscow, and the housekeeping department, just bottom, low level, entry level position, cleaning rooms, uh, and the engineering department director, after a time, asked me to help him with some projects he was working on, and which I did. And then he asked me to transfer to his department, which I did, the engineering department for the hospital. Worked for him for about a year and a half. Okay, so I learned quite a bit about taking care of buildings, ground safety, security, all the things that the engineering department does for the hospital. And about the time I continued going to school at U of I, but I was pursuing an engineering degree and I couldn't make my schedule for work and my schedule for the classes in the engineering program, which is what I had hoped to do, get an engineering degree. So I just graduated with a general studies degree, and about that time, the department director was involved in a pretty serious auto accident and couldn't continue to work. So I applied for the directorship of the department and was accepted, and lived in Moscow and worked at the hospital pretty much 24/7 for a total of 30 years. Um, Retired in 2012 at the age of 65, and stayed in Moscow for a time with our two kids and who had grown up. Uh, just recently moved back to Boise because my wife's two sons, in addition to us being raised here in Boise, they were born and raised in Boise, had served each 20 years in the Navy and came back to Boise with their families, and she wanted to move from Moscow to Boise to spend time with them. And so we did. So we've been back here for about 6 years now. Yeah.
And you have a family band,
Yeah.
which we'll have on different videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my wife's sons, Eric, and I and Eric's dad are playing in a family band. We played Tom and I played a long time ago together in different bands, but now we're back together called the Blend because of the family situation. And that's it.
Great.